Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about how we help the Chamber of Commerce, well, Chamber of the Industry of Radio and TV in Mexico, to deal with the problem of helping the journalists because they were being targeted by organized crime. And we also live in a very nature disaster-prone area. Just to give you an idea, there's like 35,000 journalists that the Chamber represents. And the government of Mexico also joined this effort last year by declaring a law that protects journalists and human rights workers. That's not... Sorry. There we go. The other way. So the talk is going to be, we're going to see these four things. First, I'm going to tell you about the background of what made us do this system. And then we will proceed to tell you how we approach the system, the solution we come with, and, well, how we can see this learning experience apply in other fields. Here we have a map of Mexico, and the little circles are earthquakes that had been like 6 and above, and all the triangles are active volcanoes in Mexico. Just to give you an idea, more or less here is where Mexico City is, and Acapulco and Veracruz, and here is Cancun. Mexico City has 21 million people. So the center of the map where all the volcanoes and all the earthquakes are, it's highly dense population. Cancun on the other side, that's where like all the hurricanes come. They either come on that side or on this side, where also is very populated. So having a system to react to natural disasters is very important. Now, speaking of organized crime, just to give you an idea, on the first quarter of this year, there's already been 50 attacks on media. That includes murders, kidnaps, attacks like on facilities, like with grenades and stuff like that. So it's pretty scary. Intimidation and kidnapping has increased a lot. Journalists. I was explaining here. I've been told like one of the reasons why crime has exploded as much is because the cocaine routes from Colombia are now going through Mexico. So that has, well, first encouraged fights against, like, the cartels are fighting against each other because it's a very lucrative business, and they have access now to automatic weapons and stuff like that, so that splashes everybody. And with last president term, they started the war on drugs, and that also diversified, like you chop ahead of organized crime, and then you have two different organized crimes cartels. So yeah. So okay, let's go to another map here. We have almost about 100 people missing. These are journalists that they don't know where they are, they don't know what the fate of these people are, so they may be kidnapped, they may be dead, we don't really know, but they're open cases because they still haven't resolved where their whereabouts are. And here's like historic map. We have 3 different colors, and this is the 2 presidents ago with Vicente Fox. We have 22 murdered journalists. In the previous, with the previous president, where the war against drugs started, and that's when the cocaine route started and all that, we can see the number of murdered journalists increased by twice. And this is the new president that started in December last year. There's been three murders so far, and we hope that with a system, what we have in place, we can keep that number low. So the main problem was the aggression against journalists, the natural disaster-prone areas. So the industry was very concerned about their safety and how to improve. No, it's really a very complex problem. You cannot really solve it, no, like if the government can't, no? But we wanted to have a way to have a better response, no? Because normally if you get kidnapped, before people start looking for you, if you're lucky, it's 24 hours or 8 to 24 hours, or until somebody calls and asks for a ransom for you, no? According to people from Amber Alert, like in 3 hours, they can take you from one state to another. So in 24 hours, you can be anywhere. So the industry, the Chamber of Commerce was very concerned about this and approached me what can we do about reducing this time. And last year, the government also passed this law that has helped us to improve this awareness. So we were faced with the challenge of doing a low-cost, easy-to-use, reliable system. You know, like we can see here in Dilbert, they have a lot of requirements, and isn't it like what all developers face with? Like, okay, we have all this list of requirements, but it has to be really easy to use. So we added easy to use to the requirement list. So low-cost system by reusing telephones, the cell phones of the people that we already have hardware installed, so that will reduce the cost of implementing hardware. The activation is really easy. You just dial a 1-800 number or download an app if you have a smartphone. And in a matter of seconds, we can start telling people we're in trouble. Granted, you have your phone at hand and you can press the buttons, no, to call them. So it's as simple as that, no? It's just a panic button on your cell phone. You can notify your trusted contacts, say your family, your friends, the people that you know that will start looking for you, because that's also like some problems, no? Like you say, like, somebody's in trouble. It's like, well, I don't know him. No, it takes time. But when somebody who is close to you and know that when they receive that call, they will have to act, then things get moved faster. The alarms will be sent by SMS, by email, and by phone, just in case the SMS didn't arrive or the call, somebody was on the phone and didn't receive. By sending it on 3 medium, we always guarantee that the notification will arrive. There we go. So all you need is to have a cell phone that sends your caller ID. No, that's basically the key identifier that will help us know whose phone it is. Once you're registered with the system, You input the contacts of the people that you want the system to be notified by the system. You assign the 1-800 number to a speed dial number so that you don't have to think, what was that number? No, you know that number 5 is a speed dial and you send it. Or if you have the smartphone, you download the app that runs on iOS or Android, configure it, and we made a system where, like, once you add a person into the system will send an SMS to that phone to verify that that's the right phone, and you actually record your voice so that when the phone call comes to, the alarm comes out, they will hear your voice like, Juan Carlos is in trouble. So at least it's not like totally automated. They realize like, this is my friend. So how it works. Okay. You activate the system by calling the phone number, the 1-800 number, or the app. The server will validate that your caller ID is as an active number. It will start sending as soon as we identify that caller ID is a valid user. We'll get your contacts and start sending SMS right away. In less than 5 minutes, or 5 seconds, the SMS are out. And also phone calls are starting to be generated at the same time. We fork the process and we start doing the same process at the same time. Then the emails, it depends on how you activate the system and how we send the emails. If you dial the 1-800 number, the call is being recorded. So if you can say, it's a black Suburban, plates, blah, 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 5 people, or just press the number and put it on the side, and maybe voices from the event can be recorded. Once the call is terminated, the email is going to be sent with an audio of that call. In the case of the mobile app, the app will send your GPS coordinates and the geolocation. The system also, once the phone moves a certain amount of meters, will send a new GPS location. So as long as the phone is with you, the phone will track your progress of where you are. The system, you can have, obviously, many users. The users belong to an organized, like your corporation. No? And the users, each user has its circle of trusted contacts, but the organization will also should have a contact that will oversee like all its employees. So the organizations can add users, can update, there's a dashboard to give a follow-up of the events. But they cannot see your trusted contacts. No, that's a very key thing, and especially like journalists, they don't trust, or like if you're in a situation where you're in danger or you've been threatened, or like you don't really want to tell them who your closest friends are, relatives, because then they may target them, so it's very sensitive information. And then above that, we have like the institutional context. No, in this case, like the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of the Industry of Radio and TV, will also have a person designated to give follow-up to the cases. And lastly, well, the security agents. In this case, we're working with a government agency that is implementing this law. And they already are using the system, and we already have some cases, success stories where people have been being followed, or somebody was parked in front of their house. And of course, I cannot go into a lot of details on that because that's sensitive information, but I can tell you that there has been success stories on this end. So the dashboard will look something like that, like you will have the name, what originated the call, the time, and color status. So if it's red, it's still an active case. No, it's just been activated. And if it's green, it's okay, it's resolved, no? So the organization and the institution can go into the details of the case and add information. No? If you knew that I was going from here to the outlet malls, no, you can say, I saw him 11 a.m. going towards the outlets. And then somebody at the outlets like, no, he never arrived here, no? So you can start having a central system where everybody can add their information and like has like a little community idea into this. So once you click on details, if it was generated by the app, you will see the map with the location, and down here you can add the information of what's going on with the case or close the case. Once you make a modification on the system will send emails to the people that are related in your circles, and will say, okay, well, this active case have been updated, and this is what was the change made into it. Okay, well, before we go into what's next, I would like to show you. Well, I put the app here in my iPad. So the only thing I have to do is turn on the app. My phone is somewhere around here. And if everything goes well, my phone should be. Let's see if I can.
Sistema de reacción inmediata para medidas cautelares. El suscriptor. Prueba iPad de Juan Carlos Fernández. Llamó al centro de emergencia. Probablemente esté en peligro.
So you saw how much time from when I turn on my iPad app to the phone. And maybe somebody from the office will call me and to see if I'm okay. So basically, let me just tell them we're okay. Bueno.
Sí, bueno, ¿qué tal, Juan Carlos?
¿Todo bien? Todo bien, estamos en una presentación demostrando el sistema. Gracias.
Perfecto. Buen día.
So that was somebody in my office in Mexico that received the call, received the alerts. I also received an SMS here saying that I got that Juan Carlos' iPad is in trouble. And in my email, there's also an email with a link to the map of where I am right now. We can. So, okay. I'm not going to answer anymore, but now people are looking for me. And okay, so where do we see this besides like helping journalists and the human rights defenders in Mexico? The most logical for me would be like schools. Okay, sorry. I'm going to give this back to you and handle that. We all heard of things happening in shootings in schools, or what happened, I don't know what was 2 years ago in the movie theaters in Colorado with that Batman movie. Wherever there's a large group of people, like the Asterisk convention, like knock on wood, I don't want anything to happen, but if you have to notify a large group of people that something is going on, this can be like if you have an agreement with cell phone companies, I know there is a way of broadcasting to the cell, and the cell will broadcast a message, not to individual subscribers, but whomever cell phone is attached to that cell tower, there's a protocol where you can just broadcast. Now, I don't know if you've seen when you go on a trip that you arrive, your phone is just registering with a new company, and then suddenly you will receive an SMS or something saying, welcome to the new service, and call and get the roaming plans and blah, blah, blah. No? So that's how they do that. I see it in also like for fleet tracking and reporting, not necessarily for emergencies, but when you have like a salesperson or a truck that goes en route, they can start also logging their progress. And if they need to interact with the client, or you can like make the call center call you for whatever reason possible. So that's about it. So I don't know if you have any questions that I can answer. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
I'm always in shock when a demo works during a presentation at all, let alone work so well. So that's always really good.
Well, these kind of demos have to work anywhere.
Exactly. You know, I was actually asked to voice a few prompts through the Digium website, and it was to notify a larger group of people, and it was registered sex offenders, to let them know that they haven't checked in with their parole officer. So yeah, I mean, that's a weird application, but that's, yeah. So now when people say, oh, I got an automated call from you, I always go, oh, really? Did you? Because, you know, they could have been in that group. So does anyone have any questions for Juan Carlos? Oh, very good. Here we go.
By the way, this is great. I mean, what you're doing there, it's, you know, good stuff. What about if they take away, you know, a phone or tablet of that person? Are there any other systems that might help the person?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Well, if the person loses, or rather the device, the phone, you know, somebody takes the phone off them, is there any other system beyond that to help them?
That's the thing, no?
Because if they know that the journalists are protected that way,
exactly.
You know, you're thinking about, you know, that's the first thing they're going to think about, right?
I can think of like what you do with dogs, no? Like you put a chip into it, no? But how many people were willing to have a chip embed into their body? No?
No, but maybe, I mean, I'm just thinking loud here. Maybe somehow you figure out that, you know, if that person phone did not register or send some message at certain period of time, you know, like the phone itself will send some kind of message somewhere that is okay, that is next to the person in a way.
Like
somebody let's say you put something in their belt, you know, which associates with their phone. So as long as the phone is next to the belt, obviously phone is next to the person.
Well, I'm sure. Well, we haven't gone into that.
Not chip
that
them
line
though.
of thought. But yeah, like something like what they have here for elderly people, that they have that button that if they fall or something, they can just press a button. So I think the technology is there. So I'm sure embedding into a belt or a watch or something else that is not a phone, it is possible.
Something to pair it with, basically.
Because the only thing that you need to do, like, for example, the app, it only needs to have a data connection, no? It has a data connection, sends a post information to the server saying, I'm this app, this is my configuration number, and that's all we need to know, no? Well, and sends the GPS information. The phone call, you only need to have the caller ID, which is the same thing as those buttons, those emergency buttons for medical issues. So yeah, I think the technology is there, it's possible.
Okay.
Excellent, good question. Anyone else? We love questions. No? No?
You have another one here.
Yeah, I really like what you're doing. I think it's amazing. And I just want to do an observation. You're the first picture that you had up with
Uh-huh.
press. I like it how press as the noun is like media, but then verb, press the button for help. Just
Yeah.
press. I don't know. I like. Yeah,
That was not intentional, but now it is.
yeah. It's cool. It's cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No?
And so please say no to violence.
Yes. Juan Carlos, thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you.
fabulous.